Hello, everyone. I'm DDJ, and for those who've just discovered my work, let me tell you a little bit about myself and why I became a video content creator. I was a family law paralegal and an MRA in Washington State for a bit over a decade. As an MRA, we got exactly one law changed, but by the time it passed, 4 legal loopholes were created around it, rendering it mostly ineffective. As a family law paralegal, I did everything from intaking new clients to actual case law research. Often, because of my extensive knowledge, the attorneys I contracted to would bring me with them to court trials to analyze the proceedings in real time. While I'm not an attorney and nothing in my videos should be construed as legal advice, my personal opinions are based on what I would personally do in the same situation given my knowledge, experience, and training. Working in the family courts, I discovered firsthand how saturated they are with feminists, from the lowliest employee all the way up to the family court judges themselves. Even worse, the entire family law industry is saturated with feminists, from the private attorneys to the therapists. Even the GALs and parenting investigators are almost all feminists or financial supporters of feminism. I watched in horror daily as these feminists warped the family courts into a weapon to destroy husbands, fathers, and men in general. These man-hating bigots were so devoted to their mission, they didn't care if anyone else suffered. As a result, their misandry not only destroyed men, they destroyed innocent children as well. My oldest children were 2 such victims. As part of my first divorce, I won custody of my children. 3 years later, my ex started dating a new man who started raping them. I did everything in my power to stop it, from contacting the police, documenting the evidence through medical professionals, and seeking legal advice, as at the time, these things were the conventional wisdom, and I was legally ignorant. The Feminist Sexual Assault Unit detective's entire investigation consisted of calling my children's rapist on the phone and asking him if he raped my children. When he said no, she closed the case. She never reviewed the medical evidence or spoke with the medical professionals who documented it. When my ex found out what was going on, she helped conceal our children's rape and got the feminist family courts to witch hunt me instead. She even intimidated our children into silence. Because the family courts, even back then, were so saturated with feminist bigots, I ended up losing custody of my children, who were placed in their rapist home with my ex for 5 years. However, not only did the feminist family court rob me of custody of my children, they destroyed my life by levying court fines against me, which caused me to be evicted from my home and eventually lose my job. I later found out that my children were being victimized by their rapist in the home of their mother, 5 and 6 days a week, the entire time they were there. And the entire time, their mom knew about it. While I could have killed this man and been justified in doing so, not only would I have deprived the world of their rapist, I would have deprived my children of their father at a time in which they needed me the most. It was a hard decision to make, but in the end, I'm grateful I had the strength to make it. So what did I do instead? I learned the law, as much as I could, from everywhere I could. I tested my theories and arguments with attorneys and within the family court itself, often with great success. Then I collected the evidence, I watched, and I waited. And when my children started making disclosures again, 5 years later, I was ready. I contacted Child Services, the police, had a friendly therapist in place, and I documented everything. Then I went to court. However, this time, I wasn't only fighting my ex and the feminist family court, but the police and Child Services as well. You see, they realized they fucked up big, and they were terrified of being sued into the Stone Ages. It was even worse with Child Services, because they knew about my children's rapist 6 months before he ever met my children and did nothing to protect that other group of children either. So they all came after me. However, as a result of a combination of my legal knowledge and the support of other men, I was able to regain custody of my children, and I did it all without an attorney. While neither my ex nor my children's rapist was ever criminally charged, it was mainly due to the feminist family court professionals destroying my children as witnesses. However, not only did my victory in the family court destroy the lives of my ex and my children's rapist, it also destroyed the careers of every feminist family law professional who tried to protect these predators. In the end, because of the evidence I collected and preserved over the years, my children eventually sued the state of Washington and won. However, their lives will never be the same. Even my grandchildren will suffer from this feminist witch hunt. This process taught me 2 things. The MRA movement exists in name only. Every MRA group I know of is hanging on by a thread, and for the most part, has no major successes to its name. Feminism, on the other hand, is a worldwide organization funded with billions of corporate and government welfare dollars, Even back then, feminist family courts were able to discriminate against and witch hunt men with impunity. After this saga ended, I tried going the TradCon route and remarried. When that marriage failed, I won custody of my children from that marriage also. When the feminist family court tried to discriminate against me again, I was able to mitigate a lot of the damage while exacting a high price on them for every small victory they achieved. This taught me that TradCons don't have the solution either. This led me to MGTOW. I realized that with the MRA movement incapacitated on life support, and the feminists discriminated against men everywhere, men needed an additional voice. They needed my voice. However, as a MGTOW, my voice isn't one of activism. It's one of legal knowledge and personal experience to educate and teach men how to survive living under feminist and gynocentric occupation. That's why I wrote the Amazon bestseller, The Feminist Lie. It's also the reason why I sought out Turd-Flinging Monkey and accepted his offer to co-host his Saturday show and his Wednesday 420 show. TFM does good work, and while we don't agree on everything, we agree on most things, including sharing the common goal of educating men through MGTOW. However, TFM is only one man, and there are only 24 hours in a day, and so while he continues to graciously provide me a platform to contribute, he's not always able to make time for all the issues I want to discuss. That's why I created Misandry Today. My Her Story series will be highlighting female criminals, rapists, and domestic violence perpetrators. My Dojo series will be sharing MGTOW survival skills. While many of these may be commonly known, the legal issues surrounding them often aren't. This Sunday will be the first episode of the Misandry Today live stream on Twitch. I'm envisioning this to be a weekly hour-long show with a single guest focusing on issues men face. This show will also feature a Q&A session at the end for live viewers. It will air at 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Misandry Today Twitch channel. In addition, I'll be releasing videos about a variety of subjects often ignored by MGTOW content creators that are relevant not only to MGTOW, but to the wider audience that opposes feminist and social justice bigotry. While some of these subjects may have been previously covered by other content creators, my videos will add a legal perspective and provide context often missed by other content creators. Because of YouTube's well-documented witch hunt of anti-feminist content creators, including most recently MGTOW is Freedom, I mirror all my content on Bitchute and encourage everyone to follow me there also. While I have a Twitter, I also use Gab in case the Twitter witch hunt reaches me there also. I recently created a Misandry Today group on Facebook, but in case that's targeted, I also have a Minds.com account and created a MGTOW group on Minds that people can join also. Finally, if you want to support my work, you can do so via Minds.com, Patreon, and very shortly Twitch. All the links are in the description. I'm DDJ, and this is why I created Misandry Today.